Hello, I'm Corey Wells, co-president of the League of Women Voters of Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. My fellow co-president Leslie Collum and I welcome you to the Smyrna Town Council Candidate Forum, sponsored by the League in partnership with the town of Smyrna. The League believes that candidate forums provide an excellent format for voters to become more familiar with the candidates and their positions. We appreciate the support of Smyrna Town Manager Harry Gill, Media Services Manager John Lanza, and the Media Services staff who enable forum broadcasting and streaming to reach a much larger number of voters. The League seeks to conduct our forums in a fair and unbiased manner which does not favor any party or candidate. Key participants, especially the moderator, are not publicly aligned with any candidate. We are pleased to have Dr. Amy Sayward as moderator for the following forum. Dr. Sayward is a professor of history at MTSU and a member of the League. As part of our commitment to voter service, the League attempts to schedule candidate forums for most general contested races in Rutherford County. We invite all candidates to participate. In order to assure impartiality and comply with FCC rules for televised events, a majority of candidates must agree to participate in order for the forum to proceed. We hope you find the forum informative in deciding the candidates you choose to support. Remember, your vote gives you a prime opportunity to influence how government is conducted in Smyrna and beyond. Please make your decision known by voting. Citizen participation is a vital part of our democracy. Your vote counts.
Good evening. My name is Amy Sayward, and I will serve as the moderator for this candidate forum. This forum is co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Murfreesboro-Rutherford County and the town of Smyrna. The League believes that candidate forums like this provide an excellent way for voters to become more familiar with the candidates and with their positions. It is my pleasure to welcome both our audience here at the Smyrna Town Hall and our viewers at home to this program. This evening, we will be hearing remarks from candidates for the Smyrna Town Council. Before introducing the candidates, I would like to outline the procedure for this forum. Each candidate will be asked to make an opening statement and answer the first question in a 2-minute statement. When all candidates have completed the opening statement and first question, then several additional questions will be asked. The candidates will respond to each of those questions with a 1-minute answer. The candidates will be allowed 2 minutes to answer the last question and make any closing remarks. And I especially want to thank all of the residents of Smyrna who submitted their questions through the town website, several of which we'll be using tonight. I want to begin by introducing each candidate. I want to thank each of them for their gracious acceptance of our invitation to participate in this event. Speaking first is Mr. Bradley Austin. Mr. Austin, you may make your opening statement and answer the following question. Why are you running for the Smyrna Town Council?
Well, my name is Bradley Austin. I'm a young conservative Republican. I grew up in this hometown along with my family. I've got involved in politics when I was 18 years old with Mike Sparks. Been helping him ever since, and I want to work my way up to be just like Mike. I want to work for my city. I want to work for the citizens of Smyrna. I want to bring better jobs and cut our debt here in the city of Smyrna.
Okay, thank you. Second, Mr. Dennis Johnson. Same question. You may make your opening statement, and the question is, why are you running for Smyrna Town Council?
My name is Dennis Johnson. I'd like to ask you for your vote for the Town Council this election. I also like to thank the League of Lady Voters for having this opportunity, that all candidates have the opportunity to speak to the citizens of Smyrna. I'd like to start saying I'm a lifetime resident of Smyrna. I've always felt the importance of our community. Throughout my life, I've been a teacher, small business owner, coach, and a volunteer in our community. I also have won the Lifetime Service Award this past year, same as my father did in 1999. have a lot to do with the fire and police. I respect them. My mother is retired from Smyrna as a dispatcher for 18 years. And since I'm retired the past 2 years, now I have more time, and I'd like to be involved in our organization in the city of Smyrna, the community. And my wife, I'd like to thank my wife and the children and grandchildren all live here in Smyrna. I'd like to be a part in moving in the direction that we're going and keep our community going. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaking third will be Mr. Tim Morrell. Same question. After your opening statement, would you tell us why you are running for Smyrna Town Council?
Sure, I'd be happy to. First, I want to thank the League of Women Voters, thank the citizens that are here and the ones that are at home watching tonight. You know, it's been my privilege for the past 8 years to serve on the Town Council. And also, in conjunction with that, serving 11 years with the Smyrna Planning Commission. You know, my focus is and will continue to be bringing a quality of life to Smyrna that includes not only what we do in the way of infrastructure, but parks and providing an affordable lifestyle. You know, in short, what I want to do is make Smyrna a place where we all live, work, and play. You know, Smyrna is the 14th largest city in Tennessee, and we've got the 3rd lowest tax rate. As a matter of fact, in Rutherford County alone, only Eagleville has a lower tax rate than us. And I'm proud of that, especially when you consider Eagleville has a population of just under 1,000, and we've grown to 48,000 people here. You know, I want to continue to work to expand our educational opportunities with TCAT and with Motlow, and I also want to focus on our continuation of more jobs here. It's been my privilege to be the town's representative to the Economic Development Council. And because of that, we've seen an increase in the number of jobs, and we've seen the number of retail taxes increase. Focused on Lowry Street as far as revitalization there. And I want to continue to work on bringing quality medical care to Smyrna through careful planning and also in conjunction with working with Stonecrest. So that's why I'm running for council, is to continue the quality of life that we enjoy here for all citizens. Thanks.
Thank you. Speaking fourth will be Bob Newell. Same question. After your opening statement, could you tell us why you are running for Smyrna Town Council?
Good evening. I wish to thank the League of Women Voters for sponsoring tonight's forum. My wife Linda and son Jason and I moved here in 1989. Since then, we've seen many changes, with the population now over 47,000. Even with its growth, Smyrna maintains a small-town atmosphere, making it a desirable place to live, work, and raise a family. I've been a registered nurse for 40 years. I retired last year. I'm a licensed pilot, CPR instructor, Army veteran. I'm a member of SEMA, former president of the ABC League. My wife and I attend Highland Heights Church of Christ. We've been involved in local, county, and state politics since moving here. We've worked on several campaigns, and I've run for office in the past. I've dedicated my life to serving others, and I look forward to serving the citizens of Smyrna. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaking fifth will be Ms. Raquel Peebles. Same thing. After your opening statement, would you please tell us why you're running for Smyrna Town Council?
Yes. Good evening. I'd first like to thank the League of Women Voters of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County for hosting this forum. I'd also like to thank the town of Smyrna and Smyrna Television. I'd also like to thank the audience members and the persons watching online and on Channel 3. I'm running for Smyrna Town Council because I was born and raised here in Smyrna. I'm a graduate of Smyrna High School. My family goes back more than 5 generations in this town. I'm a mother of 2, and I've chosen to raise my children here in Smyrna. I'm also a small business owner, and I've been practicing law for more than 20 years. I've sat on several boards and been an advisor to several organizations and nonprofits. And I've used my legal skills here throughout this town of Smyrna to provide pro bono work to individuals, families, businesses, and nonprofits. I believe that Smyrna, as some of the other candidates have stated, Smyrna has grown immensely. Smyrna is a diverse population, and we need diverse viewpoints and backgrounds to give a voice to all citizens. My grandmother, Raquel Peebles, taught me by her example to be a servant of others, and I believe that Smyrna has been a blessing to me. Many people have helped me along this journey, and I want to use my skills and talents to give back and be a blessing to the community, as well as set an example for my kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaking sixth will be Steve Sullivan. Again, after your opening statement, would you please let us know why you are running for Smyrna Town Council?
Thank you. I absolutely will. Thank you for moderating. I appreciate the question already. I kind of knew this one was coming, so this one's an easy one. Thank you for holding this event. It's an amazing opportunity for the citizens of Smyrna to be able to hear from all 7 council members in a 1-hour time period. It would be very hard to be able to get with each person and have these kind of conversations, so I really appreciate this for you and the town of Smyrna for putting this on. I have been here in Smyrna for over 30 years, raised here, raised my kids here. Both are moving on into college years at this point, so I've, like Dennis, have some extra time that I would like to use. I'm running for town council for one simple reason. It's the best reason I think that anybody should run, is I love Smyrna. I left this town right out of high school, went in the Marine Corps and served in Desert Storm. I'm an infantry veteran and a squad leader and a non-commissioned officer in the Marine Corps for 5 years. I thought I would never come back to Smyrna, and after visiting literally every corner of the world, I decided there's no place like home. And I came back to Smyrna, and I've decided I'm never going to leave. I plan on retiring here. I plan on raising my grandchildren here, or helping to raise my grandchildren here, and hopefully my great-grandchildren. As a Marine Corps squad leader, I learned valuable leadership lessons on how to coordinate and how to use common sense and logic to make good problem-solving decisions. I've spent 20 years in the IT industry in a management role. I've worked for IBM Global Services and Nissan. In both of those organizations, I've received leadership awards for my management and my leadership style in their organizations. 2008, I received the IBM National Leadership Award. 2016, Nissan recognized me with a Director Award. I've volunteered the year for my work here in Smyrna Adult Softball for Smyrna in 2014. I currently serve on the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'm the president of the Smyrna Adult Softball. Thank you for your vote.
Thank you. And seventh will be Ms. Michelle Mastin Wisniewski. Same thing. After your opening statement, could you please let us know why you are running for Smyrna Town Council?
Absolutely. And I'll echo my sentiments of my fellow candidates and thank everyone involved in this production. My name is Michelle Mastin Wisniewski. Many of you may know me as Michelle Dwyer, as that was my married name for 22 years. In general, I'm quite conservative, and I believe wholeheartedly that we should expect our representatives to be fiscally responsible with our tax dollars. I believe that the needs of the whole should always surpass and outweigh the wants of the few, and our budgets should reflect that concept. I'm a former small business owner, and I understand the need for economic growth balanced with controlled spending to achieve financial success. The reason that I want to run is that my biggest focus is going to be on economic development. We are a great town. We've always been a great town. And 30 years ago, we were prepared for the coming of Nissan North America. And who would have thought that a small town like Smyrna, Tennessee could have ever landed such a wonderful thing? But we did. And we did that because we were prepared for them. We were shovel ready when they got here. My concern is that we're not shovel ready for anything anymore. We have a lot of retail going on in Sam Ridley, and that's wonderful. But we need to create jobs. We need industry coming to Smyrna. And my concern is that we're just not prepared for that. And I would like for us to refocus our attentions to become prepared. So that would be something that I would like to work with. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to our second question. For this one, Mr. Johnson will start. The question is, what 3 local issues do you think are most important in Smyrna at this time?
I think infrastructures, getting our sewers moved out further since the city limits are moving to improve the facility for the citizens. Also think the thoroughfare is one of our main issues, the thoroughfares of our town. Of course, I know we have to work with the state, TDOT, and the county to get this done, and people don't realize that they are doing a great job. It just takes time, and people have to realize it's just not a overnight deal. And that's the reason I'm running.
Thank you. Mr. Morrell, same question. What 3 local issues do you think are most important?
Certainly in our community, infrastructure is a concern, and I'd like to look at that from 2 different perspectives. Number one, from a roads perspective. You know, currently, we have 8 projects underway where we're spending $13.55 million in roadway improvements. And as Mr. Johnson mentioned, it's something that sometimes you don't see as immediate as you should, but it's happening. And when you're working with the state and the federal government, especially with the state highways, it's a bit of a struggle, but it's something that we're working on. And again, we have $13.5 million in the pipeline working on that. Secondly is, you know, our water and water management. You know, what do we do with the water as we have to get rid of it? And with that, we're currently in a $25 million project phase to expand our wastewater treatment. And in conjunction with that, we're even, and that gets us to 12 to 15 years. In conjunction with that, we're looking with other ways to expand that. And I see my time's out, so I won't get to my 3rd one.
Thank you. Mr. New, same question. What 3 local issues do you think are most important in Smyrna?
Well, unbridled growth is the main problem facing Smyrna. This causes most of the other issues we have. Our infrastructure can't keep up with the rapid growth. We need improved planning will take into consideration the impact on our roads and services. The impact on our environment is causing stormwater problems, air pollution, and noise pollution that impact our homes and quality of life. There needs to be a balance between the impact of growth on our economy, environment, and quality of life. We need leaders who will make the tough choices. Sometimes you just need to say no.
Thank you. Same question to Ms. Peebles. What 3 local issues do you think are most important in Smyrna?
The 3 local issues that I believe are most important in Smyrna are traffic, infrastructure, and budgeting. With regards to the traffic issues, I agree we need to be aggressive in budgeting to fund the projects that we need to try to alleviate some of the issues. And as has been previously stated, it is true that we do have to work with other agencies, state, federal, in order to try to resolve those issues. But I believe that we need to be diligent to work with these other agencies and to show them that improving the traffic issues here is not just a local issue, but it will better us as a county and also be better for the state. With regards to the infrastructure issues, the water, the sewer, and the roads, we need to continue to be attractive to new residents and businesses. So we need to try to alleviate some of those issues and start to plan for all this growth that we have encountered. Then lastly, I do believe we need to budget for these items as well. Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan, same question. What 3 local issues do you think are most important in Smyrna?
The most important issue that everyone else has pretty much hit on is growth. Growth in Smyrna has been astronomical over the last 20, 30 years. Growth is required for sustainability, so we've got to figure out how to manage that growth and how to use that growth to fund and help prepare our infrastructure and our thoroughfares, and even make sure that our budget is in line with those projects that we need to make sure that we take care of. We have to continue to work with TDOT on the Rocky Fork interchange. Recently they've got us on our 2030 plan, but they've put some conditions on it. We've got to do some work at Sam Ridley and correct some traffic issues there as well to keep them interested and help them come to the table. It's not simply a budget issue. It's not simply writing a check. It's coordinating and managing with TDOT to show that we have made the improvements we have to make to be able to support them. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Wisniewski, same question. What 3 local issues do you think are most important in Smyrna?
I think our most important issue is our infrastructure. Again, I'm going to revert back to my opening statement, but in the construction world, reactive projects typically cost more than proactive projects. And when we get in front of a project, such as a utility line or something like that, we actually get to control the development of that line. And that's very important in a municipality planning. So for me, it's going to be economic growth. Now, we're talking about a lot of growth, but most of that is retail and most of that is out on Sam Ridley Parkway. And I love that. I love that we have restaurants and shopping and it's all fabulous. But when we're putting houses in, are we preparing for that? Are we getting ahead of those projects? Are we preparing for industry? Can we actually accommodate a CEO who wants to move his industry here? Are we ready for that? And I'm concerned that we're not as ready as we probably should be. Oh, I'm sorry. And you have another, but she's gonna, yep.
Thank you. Mr. Austin, same question. What 3 local issues do you think are most important in Smyrna?
I think the biggest issue right now is the infrastructure, bringing more jobs in, bringing more local businesses, being ready for them to come in, like Michelle said, having the property available and stuff like that. Number 2, I think our budget is out of control. I think we're spending before we're planning. And number 3, I like our streets and stuff like that. Sam, really, it's just 3 o'clock, you can't get down to the interstate. It takes you about 30 minutes. So I think number 3 would be rebuilding our streets, putting in more sidewalks, and going from there.
Thank you very much. For our 3rd question, Mr. Morelle, you will start. The question is, what are your thoughts about the future of downtown Smyrna?
Good question for me. I'm currently on the revitalization committee for Smyrna. And we're working in innovative ways to make changes there. You know, we've actually obtained a TDOT grant to work on the hardscapes and the landscapes. We're currently and will be working with business owners on improving there. You know, what we want to do is create a zone for this so that it's actually a destination. You know, we see it anchored on the northern end with our town center, and we have plans for mixed use on our southern end. And again, the depot itself is just a great example of what's going on. We just recently had depot days, and I don't know the actual count, but it was in the thousands, and it was great to see the arts and the entertainment and the community all come together there. So Lowry Street revitalization is going to be part of what we do, and it is a destination.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. New. What are your thoughts about the future of downtown Smyrna?
Well, recently I've been talking with my neighbors, friends, concerning the problems on Smyrna's east side. The lack of grocery store, closing of CVS and other businesses, the type of businesses on Lowry Street, payday, title loan stores, and used car lots. These are the type of businesses that exist in poor neighborhoods. We noticed that more and more houses are being turned into rental properties, and this isn't good for anybody's neighborhood. I know they're working on trying to improve Lowry Street. I don't know how much they can actually do about the type of businesses that exist there now. They probably can, because it's a state highway, I believe that there are limits to what the town can do. I mean, I'm sure they can spruce it up a little bit, but you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear.
Thank you. Same question for Ms. Peebles. What are your thoughts about the future of downtown Smyrna?
Yes, I think that we need to look at making it more cohesive downtown. When people come and drive through Smyrna, we want them to have a positive outlook and get a positive feel from driving through Smyrna. So I think we need to look at offering incentives to the business owners that are there to create a more cohesive and a more aesthetic-looking outlook for the different buildings that are downtown. I realize that there are some, there's been some some planning going on with regards to downtown Smyrna, and that a couple of studies have been done. So I do believe that some of those issues are in the works on being addressed. But I believe that that's what we need to look at doing, is bringing some type of cohesiveness to the downtown area and give business owners some types of incentives so that they will want to clean up the area and allow their places to have a more positive look and a more positive feel for the people, the residents going through Smyrna, as well as visitors coming through. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sullivan, same question. What are your thoughts about the future of downtown Smyrna?
Downtown Smyrna, I think, provides the small town feel that all of us that keep talking about. The reason we're running, the reason we stayed in Smyrna is because of that small town community. Sam Ridley acts as the gateway to Smyrna, but downtown Smyrna acts as the small town of Smyrna. I think we have to continue to bring that area to the type of event like the type of events like we've had that Tim mentioned. It's got to be a place where on Friday nights, Saturday nights, weeknights, that's where the families of Smyrna want to go. It's got to be the destination. I think we need to definitely work on the south end of that area so that we can have some sort of facility there, whether it's a multi-use environment or a restaurant or some sort of anchor on the south end to help balance out. The work that Carpe Artista is doing in that area is phenomenal. Carpe Cafe and the work they're doing at 101 Front Street are amazing. And Ron and Susan are really contributing to the area down there, and I think we need to continue to support those type of local business owners to help them make those changes.
Thank you. Ms. Wisniewski, same question. What are your thoughts about the future of downtown Smyrna?
I actually sit on the Historic Zoning Board, and I can say that I think we're doing a pretty good job of maintaining the authenticity of our historic district. As far as Lowry Street, I have to agree with everyone. Remember, Lowry Street is a state highway. It was one of the first roads in Tennessee. And when you're traveling between Murfreesboro and Laverne, and if you're not on the interstate, you're coming down that road. And I think we need to make sure that that road projects what we are and how we want to be represented. And I think the tax incentives are a great idea, but we do need to focus. And unfortunately, our focus for a long time has been on Sam Ridley. So I would like to get us shifting back and taking a look at making a positive impact on Lowry Street.
Thank you. Mr. Austin, what are your thoughts about the future of downtown Smyrna?
As a young guy, I see a lot of payday loan places, a lot of title loan places, a lot of buy here, pay here car lots, and a lot of vacant buildings for leases. I think we need to maybe bring some local businesses in who are looking to move their business, maybe provide them a view of Lowry Street and tell them, it's a family street. Everybody's grew up here, they're locals. Bring some local businesses in instead of letting all these payday loan places, buy here, pay here's. I'd like to see more restrictions on them because there's a lot of them, and it just looks bad. Looks really, really bad on Lowry Street.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, what are your thoughts about the future of downtown Smyrna?
Well, I think they've done an outstanding job on the Front Street side, renovating the depot and created more business down there, and people enjoy coming to the get-togethers. On the Lowry Street issue, I think they are going the right direction. They have just passed some amendments to stop having car lots in the commercial area and move them out. And we're trying to get more businesses to come in and improve the intersections and get more traffic off of Sam Ridley onto Front Street, Lowry Street. So I think they're going in the right direction. I'd just like to help them.
Thank you. Shifting to our fourth question, starting with Mr. New. How will you promote awareness of firework laws to eliminate year-round noise disturbances?
Could you repeat that again?
Yes. How will you promote awareness of fireworks laws to eliminate year-round noise disturbances?
I know our grandson this past 4th of July managed to get second and third degree burns on his right hand left hand from playing with fireworks. And I've talked to some other people about this. I think one of the meetings I came to, somebody came in and spoke about the fireworks. I really think I don't think we should allow fireworks, especially some of these rockets as they shoot off. I mean, they go hundreds of feet in the air. After last 4th of July, I mean, I was picking up carcasses of rockets out of my front yard, and I didn't set any off. And I think we need to manage this better. I don't think I think now, is it 2 days before or a day after or something like that, that you can actually shoot off fireworks, but I think we had to consider banning them.
Thank you. Ms. Peebles, how will you promote awareness of fireworks laws to eliminate year-round noise disturbances?
I think we need to look at doing public safety announcements so that people are aware of when fireworks are allowed and when they are not. Some may just not know what the law is. And in the alternative, the one way you can deal with it is to change the law and say that there won't be any fireworks. That will eliminate the problem as far as an possible during the year implementation of their use besides just on the 4th and New Year's.
Thank you. Mr. Sullivan, how will you promote awareness of fireworks laws to eliminate year-round noise disturbances?
So public safety announcements, notifications on Channel 3, Facebook posts are all good ways to get information out. But we also have a neighborhood watch program that works very close with the local police department. Those guys and gals have already volunteered to be neighborhood resources for us to work with them to get things like this out. So I think we work with Mr. Arnold, we work with the police department, and we work through that neighborhood watch system that's already in place to help educate and communicate what the law really is and ask them to help us enforce their neighborhoods.
Thank you. Ms. Wisniewski, how will you promote awareness of fireworks laws to eliminate year-round noise disturbances?
I think the promotion of the current laws would happen, again, with public announcements, with Facebook, social media. I think we can get the word out. I have to disagree with banning them or making them illegal. I think they're part of our patriotic process. I like fireworks on July the 4th. I enjoy the city's fireworks, and I enjoy some sparklers and little things. I'm not much on the rockets. But I don't think that we should take that opportunity away from anyone else. I think that maybe we should look at helping to not only inform our citizens, but inform those vendors who are selling the fireworks. Let's talk with them. Let's make sure that they're aware of the law. Maybe pamphlets or something to hand out at the various tents. They have to check in. They have to get a permit in order to sell the fireworks. So I think we should work with them closely to make sure that they're passing the information on to their customers.
Thank you. Mr. Austin, how will you promote awareness of fireworks laws to eliminate year-round noise disturbances?
I agree with Michelle. I think we shouldn't ban them, but I think the source needs to come into restrictions, because I think this year we had over 15 tents in the city of Smyrna selling fireworks. I think we need to go to the source, which is 90% of tents. Yes, Walmart and Kroger's does sell fireworks, but it's those firework tents. We need to go to those owners and make restrictions, put out some pamphlets and let them hand them out to each customer who buys fireworks, so the customers know in the city of Smyrna here's the regulations and rules for the fireworks.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, how will you promote awareness of fireworks laws to eliminate year-round noise disturbances?
Well, I think the city has in place already the laws, times that you can shoot them, and I think we need to Facebook, put it on Channel 3, and the people that are selling them in the tents, let the people know, the young kids, the parents, the dangers, the times that they can shoot them, and the times they have to quit shooting them, and that would alleviate the noises.
Thank you. Mr. Morrell, same question. How will you promote awareness of fireworks laws to eliminate year-round noise disturbances?
My goodness, if I offered a ban tonight, I don't think I could go home. You know, what you've heard is already taking place. We're having announcements at council. We're having broadcast on Channel 3. We're in our social media. We have a robust codes department that meets with the vendors to explain, you know, when they can be sold. And you know, I think it's maybe getting back here where, you know, it's kind of up to the individuals and the communities and the neighborhoods to enforce that, or just ask their neighbor, you know, hey, it's past time, let's stop. And then we do have law enforcement when we get those calls, we do respond.
Thank you. Moving on to our fifth question, Ms. Peebles, we'll start with you. How do you plan to help protect and increase property values in Smyrna?
I think we can protect and increase the property values by continuing to look at bringing in industrial and retail businesses. However, I do believe that we need to have a comprehensive plan to bring in the businesses so that we know the areas of growth and where they can be placed. By bringing in business and industry, we help keep the residential property taxes down, and we want to always do what's in the best interest of the citizens by being able to keep our property taxes down. But we do need to have some type of plan in place so that the growth is in a manner that doesn't continue to overtake us. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sullivan, how do you plan to help protect and increase property values in Smyrna?
Well, the couple of the things that Ms. Peebles just mentioned are key, but I think the number one thing that we need to do is continue to reach out to those businesses, those retail establishments, and ultimately help drive sales tax revenue so that property tax revenue isn't affected as much. If we can continue to have these business owners see our community as a place where they can bring their business, find a good workforce, and want to move their businesses here, then that makes our property more valuable as more and more people want to live closer to work and move into the town where they're working. So bringing industry, bringing retail, bringing businesses, as well as increasing sales tax revenue everywhere where we can so that property tax revenue stays down.
Thank you. Ms. Wisniewski, same question. How do you plan to help protect and increase property values in Smyrna?
I'm going to have to fall back to the economic development and making sure that we are absolutely retaining our values and keeping our property taxes low. But I also think that what we need to look at and what I'd like to focus on, and it may be a rainbows and unicorns kind of idea, but you know, I grew up in Smyrna, and Smyrna was a small town, and we all knew our neighbors, and we all intermingled, and we all got to know, and sometimes there were neighborhood parties and block parties and things like that, and we've gotten away from that, and whether it's because of sign of the times or technologies or whatever. But I think that in order to keep our property values, we just need to get out and meet our neighbors. You know, we need to be responsible to one another. We need to be accountable to one another. And I think as far as the value of our property, that's going to enhance that value. The tax implications obviously come back to economics. But I would like to see us get closer to one another.
Thank you. Mr. Austin, how do you plan to help protect and increase property values in Smyrna?
I'd also like to see bring some more businesses in, just like Michelle said, bring in your neighbors, you know, have more depot days, have more car shows, have more interaction with your fellow neighbors and stuff like that.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, how do you plan to help protect and increase property values in Smyrna?
I'd also like to continue to bring growth in businesses. We need more businesses, but I think that our town is on the right direction, controlling what's built next to your residential areas. Commercial building, commercial, industrial. They've got locations set up for that, so that won't let your value go down, and they're controlling the residential areas, so I think we're on the right direction.
Thank you. Mr. Morrell, how do you plan to help protect and increase property values in Smyrna?
You know, it's kind of a two-part process here. First of all, from the planning phase, we work to build communities where we have residential, medium density residential, you know, the higher density residential in specific areas. We also work to move our commercial and our industrial into specific areas. The other thing that we've done is we've introduced and implemented a design review. And what this does, it leads to higher quality neighborhoods. And, you know, when you have that higher quality neighborhood, then you're going to attract and you're going to keep property values high. And then we also look at it from what our community has to offer as far as parks and recreation, as far as job opportunities. I know I've heard that mentioned. Do you know, in the last 3 years, we've had $25.8 million of capital expense invested in this community that's created jobs. So that's a big part of it also. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. New, how do you plan to help protect and increase property values in Smyrna?
Well, I'm concerned that the east side of Smyrna is being left behind. All the growth is going to the west side. CVS closed last month. Food Lion closed last year. Kroger's has closed. Jack in the Box, KFC, Miss Winters. Kmart's closing in December. These kind of issues affect the property values. When you're trying to sell your house and there's no place to buy groceries close by, people are going to look elsewhere. I'd like to see more development on the east side, another grocery store, maybe some sit-down restaurants, and other shopping.
Thank you. For our sixth question, we'll start with Mr. Sullivan. What do you consider the main responsibilities of a town council member?
The primary responsibility of a town council member is to listen to the citizens and consider each and every perspective in every decision that they make. You can't get pigeonholed, or you can't get blinders on something that possibly the individual council member or maybe a pet project that you feel needs to get driven through. You have to be considerate of other people's perspectives, understand that they may conflict with yours, and when they do, support and move forward with the council decision, even though you may not agree with it. You always have to consider the community as a whole in every decision.
Thank you. Ms. Wisniewski, what do you consider the main responsibilities of a town council member?
I think the main responsibility is to absolutely represent the constituency. It's not always the best answer, it's not always the favorite answer, but sometimes it's the right answer. But unfortunately, I don't feel like we're always doing that at this point. We've got to get out and talk with folks. Not talk to them or at them or down at them, but to talk equally to them and find out what they want. What do you want your town to be? How do you want us to move forward in the future? As a representative, that's the direction we need to head on. If we're not having those conversations, then how can you sit at this table and make a decision based on the future if you don't know which direction your citizens want to go?
Thank you. Mr. Austin, what do you consider the main responsibilities of a town council member?
I think the main responsibility is to work with the citizens of the city of Smyrna to bring in, a better way of life, to bring in, retirement for these people who live there all their life. I think that's the biggest reason, is to, represent the city and the people to other local businesses, to other people who want to move here. I mean, we're growing really, really quick. I mean, my dad was the first one to build a business on Sam Ridley, and now look at it. I think the main thing is we need to represent our city and keep going that way.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, what do you consider the main responsibilities of a town council member?
Well, I think you need to be a listener of the citizens of Smyrna and speak for them at the council meetings, and work with the council and the mayor, and see if we can come to a resolution.
Thank you. Mr. Morrell, what do you consider the main responsibilities of a town council member?
Over the past 8 years, I've had that opportunity to listen to the citizens of Smyrna, and they're asking us to be financially sound. And in regards to that, we have a reserve just over $26 million. We're actually reserved at 66%. That will allow us to improve the infrastructures that they're asking for as those projects come online. We'll have the funding available. It'll allow us to borrow money at a much better rate, and it actually allows cash. For the first time in a long time, this council has actually produced an increased reserve while paying down debt, and that's important. And then I'll go back to quality of life. Folks want to know that they have a place that's safe. Movado.com rated us as one of the safest towns or cities in the state of Tennessee. And from an affordability standpoint, livability has us in the top 5.
Thank you. Mr. New, what do you consider the main responsibilities of a town council member?
Serving the people and listening to their problems. I've been talking to a lot of people in Smyrna in the last few weeks when I was going out door to door. And the problems that people have on Florence Road are a lot different than the problems that people have on Mason Tucker Drive and over in St. Francis. So it just depends on where you are. People over in Florence Road, they're concerned about all the dust and noise from the road construction over there and the construction that's going on at Nissan. The people on Mason Tucker and Noel Lane, they're concerned about crime over there and stormwater issues. Same way, and the people up on St. Francis, they're concerned about people speeding through their neighborhoods. So we have to listen to everybody, and everybody has different problems.
Thank you. Ms. Peebles, what do you consider the main responsibilities of a town council member?
I believe the main responsibilities of a town councilman would be to listen to the voices of the citizens. And in listening to the voices of the citizens, being willing to represent their interests when it comes to making decisions about about the town of Smyrna. I also believe that we need to work that you would need to work with other council members to make the best decision for the most people and not to promote the good of the few. And lastly, I believe that we need to, as a council person, be a good steward over the tax dollars of the citizens, of the citizenry. The money that we are stewards over here belongs to them, and we need to do what's in their best interest with those funds. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now to our last question, so we'll have 2 minutes. You may make any closing statement you wish, as well as answering the question, what do you consider the appropriate role of city government in today's society? And we'll start with Ms. Wisniewski.
The appropriate role, in
Yes.
today's
What do you
government.
consider the appropriate role of city government in
City
today's
government.
society?
Okay. I believe that city government is responsible to the citizens, again, to provide fiscally sound budgets, to provide the amenities of a community, but also to provide the ability to work and live and play and be part of that community. If we're just making rules and making ordinances based on one item or another, then we've got to get back to making our community worth something to live in. I mean, we want to be a part of something. We want to raise our children in a quiet, calm, and even safe environment. And I believe that the government is responsible for making that happen. But they also have to allow us the individuality to be who we are, to raise our families, and to enjoy coming home after work and being a part of all that.
Thank you. Mr. Austin, your closing statement and your answer to the question of what do you consider the appropriate role of city government in today's society?
I think the appropriate role is to give the citizens answers they need, the advice and stuff like that, to let them know what we're doing to help them out, but also keep the city on a right track for the environment, for our budget, and for our local economy.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, your closing statement and your answer to the question, what do you consider the appropriate role of city government in today's society?
I think our city government should be budgeted for the town, and not the county have to take care of the city problems. The city take care of their own problems, listen to the citizens, and budget and do as they want. From a childhood, I've seen the city grow from 1,500 to 50,000 now. We have exceptional fire and police. We have in the top 10 of the country people wanting to retire in our town. We have the greatest parks in the state. I think we're in the right direction, and I'd love to be a part of the town council, and I'd ask you for your vote, early voting October the 19th through November 3rd, and election day on November the 8th. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Morrell, your closing statement And your answer to the question, what do you consider the appropriate role of city government in today's society?
You know, I think the appropriate role is creating the right environment. That environment that makes one feel safe when they close their door at night. It's knowing that there are job opportunities in this town. You know, we're currently at a 3.8% unemployment rate. It's knowing that your children have the opportunity to go to good schools here. And with Motlow and our new TCAT, that's a possibility. So it's all about creating possibilities and quality of life for our town. You know, I grew up in this community. I've lived here most of my life. I graduated high school from Smyrna. You know, my wife graduated from there. Our kids have grown up in Smyrna. I'm very grounded and committed to this community. And I just have been really honored to serve on the council for the past year and to have served on the Planning Commission for 11 years. I'd like to continue to do that. And with that, I would like to ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. New, your closing statement and also your answer to the question, what do you consider the appropriate role of city government in today's society?
While everybody's concerned about the presidential election, we should also focus on our local elections, which directly affect us. They affect your pocketbook, your safety, the value of your homes, and the quality of life. I'm your neighbor, your friend. We go to church together. We eat at the same restaurants. We shop at the same stores. Our children live here. Our grandchildren grew up here. We all want the same things. Smyrna is a great place to live, and I want it to remain this way for our future generations. That's why I'm committed to improve community planning, traffic management, codes and zoning enforcement to maintain the quality of life we now enjoy. One person can't do this alone, but working together we can meet the challenges of a growing, vibrant community.
Thank you.
The role of government traditionally is to provide services that individuals aren't able to do for themselves, such as police protection, fire protection, and other services. And I think that's the main function of a government, and I think they do it fairly well here in Smyrna. But I would look forward to serving this community, and we plan on living here for the rest of our lives, and our children do too. So I would ask for your vote on November 8th. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Peebles, your closing statement and your answer to the question, what do you consider the appropriate role of city government in today's society?
I believe that the appropriate role of city government in today's society would be first to exercise fiscal responsibility for the citizens. I also believe that city government should create a comprehensive plan for addressing and updating infrastructure, as well as recruiting businesses and bringing quality jobs to its citizenry so that its quality of life is such that people will want to work and play in the same city and they won't have to drive to other cities for employment. I also believe that we need to support our public safety agencies, our fire, our police, and our emergency management, and that that would be a role of city government as well. I believe that all citizens need responsible representation, and I want to work to address the needs and concerns of the people of the town of Smyrna. And I believe it's important that the voices of all the citizens be heard. I also want to work with the council to do what's in our best interest. I believe I have the qualifications, and I believe I have the skill set that will help to move this council along. I believe that we are blessed here in the town of Smyrna, and I will do what is in the best interest of all citizens. I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this forum, and I again extend thanks to all of the persons who've been involved in this process. I'm honored to be a candidate for the Smyrna Town Council, and I ask for your vote on November the 8th. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sullivan, your closing statement and your answer to the question of what you consider the appropriate role of city government in today's society.
Thank you for the question. As the last candidate, do I still have to stop? Okay. Stewardship is the most important role of government. Stewardship is exactly what we're all here to do. We have to be a good steward of the resources, the gifts, the talents that God's given us and that the citizens of Smyrna have entrusted us with. That doesn't just mean financial. Financial is obviously a large piece of that, but we have to be good stewards of the services that they need. We have to listen to their desires, their wants, and respond appropriately. We have to work together as a council to meet those needs. Whether we agree or not agree, we have to support each other and move forward as one council. As a candidate for this position, I also would like to ask for your vote. Everybody's kind of giving you the dates. November 8th is the key date. Early voting starts October 19th. I know that with the limited amount of time that we had, there may still be some questions for folks. I would encourage you to contact me directly. Steve Sully, 744@comcast.net, if you would like to email me, and I'd be glad to get with you and have more conversations. I think that I am one of the most qualified candidates up here with my leadership experience. As a Marine Corps veteran, one of the primary motives or mottos that we are taught is Semper Fidelis, which is Latin for always faithful. That is something that I have lived my entire life with, and I'm always faithful to the cause that I'm assigned to. As a councilman, I will be a good steward of those resources. I'll be a good steward of your trust, and I will use my experience to be always faithful. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, on behalf of the League of Women Voters and the City of Smyrna, I want to thank all of the candidates for your participation today. I also want to recognize John Lanza, the Media Services Manager, and his staff for their cooperation in presenting this program on Smyrna TV at Channel 3 on Comcast and Channel 99 on UVerse, and making it available on the city website. I also want to encourage all Smyrna citizens to vote. Early voting, as you have heard, will begin on October 19th and goes through November 3rd. Election Day is November 8th. Please exercise this important right to determine who will be on the Smyrna Town Council. Remember that your vote counts. May we close with a round of applause for our candidates.